Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. We're going to be in the Labyrinth, the Fantasy Trip book today by Steve Jackson Games. This is a continuation of our look into combat. We're going to continue with this one with the clubs and bare hands, daggers, cestus, and the strength table and what damage you can do. Either barehanded, with a club, with a dagger, with a cestus, with a two-handed maul, which is just two-handed club. So without further ado, let's read in. Clubs. A club or bludgeon is nothing more than a heavy chunk of wood, possibly embellished with a spike. It is a comparatively ineffective weapon, being blunt and badly balanced, but wielding a club requires no special skill whatsoever. Anyone can do it. The club is thus the preferred weapon of giants, ogres, Neanderthals, and anyone forced to improvise. The damage that a club does is based on the user's strength. Refer to the combat with bare hands, dagger, cestus, or club table below. The damage shown on the table, +3, is the damage that a fighter with a club does in regular combat. If a club is used two-handed, as a maul, add 4 instead of 3. A character caught weaponless may try to improvise a club out of whatever is handy. The GM will have to use his own judgment in allowing this, depending upon the surroundings and the player's ingenuity. Combat with bare hands, daggers, cestus, or club. It is possible to fight without any weapons at all, either in hand-to-hand combat, i.e. kneeing and gouging, or in regular combat, punching and kicking. The damage a figure does in bare-handed combat is ruled by his strength. In unarmed regular combat, a human or humanoid fighter does the following damage. If you have a strength of 8 or less, you do a d6 minus 4 damage. Now remember, with a dagger or a club, you could add 3 to that damage. With a two-handed maul, you add 4, so you just do a d6 damage. A strength of 9 or 10, you do a d6 minus 3, sorry. A strength of 11 through 12, you do a d6 minus 2. Strength of 13 through 14 is a d6 minus 1. A 15 or a 16 is a d6. A 17 through 20 is a d6 plus 1. A 21 to 24 is a d6 plus 2. A 25 to 30 is a d6 plus 3. A 31 to 40 is a 2d6 plus 1. 41 to 50 is 3d6 plus 1. And 51 to 60 is 4d6 plus 1. And the table continues on indefinitely, as long as you would have the strength to continue it. That said, not very many characters are going to ever make it that high on the strength table. Other kinds of bare-handed combat do more damage. A fighter in hand-to-hand combat does the appropriate amount of damage for his strength as above, +1. That is, a strength 9 fighter does 1d6 minus 2 damage. And for a strength 9 regular hero, you do a d6 minus 3 damage. A fighter with an unarmed combat talent does extra damage with his bare hands. See talents. When a fighter uses a dagger or cestus in hand-to-hand combat, the damage done is also based on the table above. A fighter using a dagger, cestus, or main gaunch does the damage appropriate for his strength on the table above, +3. So a fighter with a strength of 9 using a dagger in hand-to-hand combat would do 1 die damage, so 1d6 damage. When a fighter uses a club in regular combat, damage done is also ruled by the table above. Add 3 to the damage shown for a one-handed club, or 4 for a two-handed maul, used by a fighter of a given strength. A giant of strength 35 with a one-handed club would do 2d6 plus 4 damage when he hit. So you would have to play around with how much damage you're doing by adding either 3 or 4 to it based on the situation, or you could pre-write these down on your character sheets that if I had a club or a dagger, I do this damage. If I don't, I do this damage for my strength. And if I have a two-handed maul, I do this damage, or a two-handed club. It just make it easier for you if you're thinking you'll improvise, especially since you would only need like to list the 3 different types of way you could fight that way and the damages it would do. Let me know if this was helpful to you guys. Until we all game again.